Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. For those of you that might be new to the channel, my name is Tim. This is Freight Master Resources, where we typically provide tips, tools, resources, sprinkle in some industry news, that type of thing, to help you grow and be more successful as a freight broker or carrier. Today's video is a little bit different, I guess, to sort of bring to light to those that don't know what a freight broker is, and sort of cover some of the basics of what it entails. It typically is a work from home job. Okay, so if you have the dream of ditching the commute and working in your pajamas, this is a powerful one. All right, but for many work from home opportunities, often translate to low pay, repetitive tasks. However, there's a hidden gem in the world of remote work, and that is freight brokering. Okay, this guide will dive deep into the world of work from home freight brokering, exploring the nitty-gritty of the job, the skills you need to succeed, and the potential rewards. So buckle up and get ready to discover if freight brokering is your perfect work from homestead. Okay, so what exactly is a freight broker? All right, that was something that I initially, I had never heard of a freight broker before. And I was, before I got into freight brokering, I actually was a single father of three. For those of you that are new to the channel, those that have been here for a while may have heard this before, but yeah, I was basically working second shift. I would get off around midnight. It was a huge struggle finding reliable daycare or babysitter, that kind of thing. And one of the gentlemen that I worked with had at one point in time been a truck driver. And, so I kind of, during our conversations and things, I asked him a little bit more about it and everything. It sort of intrigued me. And he had brought up about freight brokers. Well, I had never heard what a freight broker was. And I said, well, what is that? And so he started telling me how most freight brokers work from home. And, they basically get a percentage of whatever the customer pays. Okay. And we'll go over that. And I'll have a little graphic for you a little later on in this video when we get to that section. And, there's agents, and then there's the actual brokerage. And depending upon whichever you are, you get a percentage of the gross profit on each load. So that sort of intrigued me. I started diving into it, doing a little bit more research. Inevitably found a work at my own pace trading program that I ordered, and upon completion, they offered me a position, and I got started. It was a little difficult at first, because I didn't have any sales training and that kind of a thing. But that's why we're here, to help those of you that are new, to give you some tips and some advice, provide you with the tools on how to find leads and, build your book of business so that you can become more successful. Okay. So, what did I do with my screen here? I just, bear with me here. All right. So again, what is exactly a freight broker? Basically, imagine a bustling marketplace where shippers with goods to transport meet carriers with trucks waiting to be filled, right? You driving down the highway, any given area, all of those manufacturers and things, they have parts coming in, raw materials, all kinds of things. Okay. This is the world of freight brokerage, and freight brokers are the master negotiators who bring these two parties together. Right. And as always, I always, advise everybody to work on building their relationships with their customers and their carriers. Neither one is more important than the other. Some might disagree with me, but in my experience, the happier your carriers are, and the better you take care of them, the easier it is to cover loads. They make more money, you make more money, your customer's happy because the load got covered. Okay. So here's kind of a breakdown to the key players. Number one being shippers. Okay. Companies with products that need to be transported across locations. This could be anything from furniture manufacturer to an e-commerce business. Okay. And basically everything in between. Carriers. These are the trucking companies or individual owner operators with the vehicles to move the freight, right? And depending upon whether it's ice cream or something, or the meat you buy at the grocery store, refrigerated trucks. A lot of your general freight will go on dry van. Things like lumber, steel, for example, will go on your flatbed trucks. Okay, and then third is freight brokers, right? We're the matchmakers. Brokers connect shippers with the right carriers at the most competitive rates, right? So the beauty of work from home freight brokering, gone are the days of cubicles and fluorescent lights, right? And screen burn on your eyes and things, with all of that kind of going on. As a freight broker, your office is wherever you have a reliable internet connection and a phone. Okay. This translates to a work environment with incredible flexibility. All right. It kind of allows you, for the most part, to set your own schedule, right? If you need to, no problem. Freight brokering allows you to tailor your work hours to your life, whether it's fitting work around childcare, like I mentioned earlier for my own self, or pursuing hobbies during the day, right? Being able to take vacation time when you need to. Obviously, you're going to want to give your customers and your carriers a heads up, and anything you can book ahead of time, to get covered while you're gone, and you might still need to be available by phone, for any kind of instances. Location independence, right? Dream of working on a beach in Bali. In fact, I got there was the first brokerage that I ever worked for that offered me the position once I completed my training. They actually had an individual there who did quite well for himself. Had dedicated lanes. He used the same carriers on his loads. He basically put in 2 hours a day and made a very, very, very good income. He lived a few blocks away from the beach, took his laptop with him, and just kind of went and hung out and did his thing, right? Let's see, where did I leave off on my notes here? The freedom to work anywhere with a stable, okay. And being your own boss, right? For the entrepreneurial spirit, freight brokering offers the chance to build your own client base and carve your path to success. All right. Next up is the allure of earning potential. Okay. One of the biggest draws of freight brokering is the earning potential. Forget fixed salaries, hourly wage. Freight brokers are typically commission based, which means your income is directly tied to the number of successful deals you secure. Okay. And here's a breakdown. And again, I'm going to pull up that graphic for you, like I promised earlier. Commission structure. Brokers typically earn a percentage of the total freight costs negotiated. The more complex the shipment, the higher the potential commission. Okay. So let me pull this up for you so that you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. So let's say your customer has a load from Dallas to Chicago, right? It's all kind of hypothetical. And they're paying $2,500. They need a dry van. The load is going to be 43,000 pounds. You find a carrier. Your profit margin on that load is 15%. So you subtract 85% off of that 2,500, and that's what you're going to pay the carrier. But that leaves you with a $375 gross profit. As a freight broker agent, you typically earn anywhere between 50 and 70%, depending upon, each brokerage is a little bit different as far as what they offer. Okay. So you would end up making $187.50 to $262.50 on that deal. Okay. And more times you repeat that, if you did 10 loads a day, well, multiply either one of those numbers or anything in between, and that would tell you what you could earn per day potentially. Okay, do that Monday through Friday. Now you start to see exactly how lucrative that this can be. Okay, so uncapped earnings. There is no ceiling on your income, right? So there is no, well, I made $20,000 this month. I can't do any more. No, the harder you work, the more deals you close, the more you earn, right? I mean, if you can do $100,000 a month, then do $100,000 a month. Building your empire. As you establish strong relationships with shippers and carriers, your earning potential continues to grow, right? One thing I did forget to include in my notes here is some agents basically start their own agency. They build their book of business, and then they have what they call sub agents. So you essentially have individuals underneath you as well. And so, you would take your book of business. Oftentimes, it can work a couple of different ways. And basically pull in the loads. The customers have 50 loads, 20 loads, 5 loads, whatever that they need covered for that day or that week. And basically you kind of hand those loads down to them. They post the loads to the load boards, make and receive calls from carriers, negotiate rates, pass the information on to you. You type up the rate confirmation and send it out. Some work a little bit differently, where they actually train the sub agents to go out and find their own book of business, and then you still earn a percentage off of what they make. So if you're at a 70%, whatever you negotiate with them, and it's sort of a much easier step to getting in without really having to go through any kind of freight broker training or anything like that, because they're more or less shadowing you. Okay. Beyond the money, the challenge and growth. Now, this is where, this might deter some people that really, would rather hope and pray for, hopefully something to happen in their life, right? So freight brokering isn't just about raking in the cash. It's a dynamic and intellectually stimulating career path, right? This isn't just a 9 to 5. It's not sending out mailers or anything like that. All right. And here's what keeps freight brokers engaged. Okay. Constant learning. The shipping industry is complex with ever-changing regulations, market fluctuations, and diverse cargo types. Okay. Brokers are constantly learning and adapting their strategies. Okay. Number 2, communication is absolutely key. Building strong relationships requires excellent communication skills. You'll be negotiating with shippers, carriers, and potentially even international partners, right? Like maybe freight forwarders. Third is problem-solving prowess, okay? Unexpected delays, route changes, or logistical hiccups are all part of the game, okay? So when you start to think about like weather delays, tornadoes, hurricanes, things like this, earthquakes, or even just a truck breaks down. It might be a relatively easy fix. It might be something that could take a day, 2 days, 3 days, right? Depending upon when the part gets there, etc. So brokers need to be adept at problem solving and finding creative solutions to keep shipments moving. Okay. So is freight brokering right for you? Well, this career path is ideal for individuals who thrive in a fast-paced environment and possess the following qualities. Okay. Number 1, self-motivation. As a work-from-home professional, the onus of staying focused and productive falls on you, right? Self-motivation is key. There's nobody there pushing you to do your job. This is really, you have to push yourself. Okay. And with any work at home, obviously distractions, whether it be being on social media or, just whatever's going on around your household. Maybe you have, children or something, those can all be distractions that can interrupt your day and limit your success. Okay. Number 2 is communication skills. The ability to clearly articulate complex information and negotiate effectively is essential for success. Okay. Number 3, sales aptitude. Freight brokering involves convincing shippers and carriers to choose your services, right? And understanding of sales techniques is crucial. Okay. Time management. Number 4, juggling multiple clients, deadlines, and unexpected issues requires excellent time management skills. All right. And number 5 is tech savvy, right? While our industry, I feel, historically has kind of lacked in the world of tech, kind of coming into the industry, it is starting to gain by leaps and bounds, utilizing AI, things like that. Freight brokers rely heavily on technology for communication, logistics management, and market research. Okay, so taking the first step, your path to becoming a freight broker. The good news, you don't necessarily need a logistics degree to become a freight broker. Okay, like I said, a simple training course. Sometimes you can reach out to a local freight brokerage and let them shadow you, you shadow them. Some offer that, some offer in-house training, and then, you go back and work from home. There's multiple opportunities. Many companies offer comprehensive training programs, like I said, to equip new brokers with the knowledge and skills they need. And so how do you get started? Start researching freight brokerage companies. Start, get on LinkedIn or, any of the other job listing websites and just look up freight broker agent. Okay. So I hope that this gave anyone who is looking for a work at home career some insight on what it is to be a freight broker and if being a freight broker is right for you. You may start off as an agent and eventually decide to open up your own freight brokerage and then start hiring, your own agents. One other thing that I will mention, last but not least, is that you will be a 1099. You are essentially an independent contractor as a freight broker agent. So something to keep in mind when it comes to tax time and things like that. Just like most work at homes, you're essentially an independent contractor. So I hope you found this insightful. And if you have any questions, comments, I'd love to see it in the description down below. But if you need to reach out to me for anything, feel free to email me, freightmasterresources@gmail.com. I keep that email monitored pretty regularly throughout the day. So I always look forward to seeing everybody's emails as much as I do the comments. And with that, we'll go ahead and end it. And as always, be kind to one another. Bye-bye.